Hello, friends. Happy Thursday. Here we are again. My name's Janet, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And if you're new here, glad you're here. Welcome to everybody. And if you have the ability to get on the chat, I hope you will and say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. So today I've got a fun card that would be a great Father's Day card, or for anyone that is into all these fun tools. So this set is called Trusty Tools. It is a photopolymer stamp set, and it does have coordinating dies that you can get by the same name, Trusty Tools dies. There are 20 dies in this set. You can make a really cute toolbox with this set. I just got this. My upline Jo, she had an extra set. I saw a card, well, we both saw it and fell in love with it, that's made with the paintbrush. So I will be doing something similar to that card that I saw, but not today. But anyway, so she had an extra set that I bought from her, and I haven't quite figured out yet what everything is as far as the dies. I'm not sure what these blades are or what they attach to. I will figure that out, but I haven't figured it out just yet. But most everything else in here I think I've figured out. I know this is the handle that goes onto the toolbox, and you can make it 3D, which is really fun. I need to go find the video where they show this tool set and explain it. So this is a two-step stamp set. I'm not going to use it in that way today, but there are solid images that you can use to fill in on these tools. All of these solid ones go on there so that you can add color without having to color with markers or pencils or paint or whatever. So that's kind of fun. Makes your work a little bit faster that way. All right, well, let's get started. I've got all my little parts and pieces here. And I think I'm just going to pull this out and do the stamping first. So since this is photopolymer, I'm going to bring my little cushion over here, and let's see, I'm going to do the hammer, the paintbrush, and the measuring tape. So let's just do the hammer first. Let me pull this off of here. All right, get my black ink. I've got a bunch of markers piled up over here that I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to stamp these out with the Memento Tuxedo Black. And I probably should have done this part first. I'm going to put some cleaner onto this scrubby pad. Set that over there. Okay, so there is the hammer and the paintbrush. I love this paintbrush. And in the tools, there's also a Okay, like the wrench, this wrench is extra, it's not in there. The paintbrush, I think that does cut the paintbrush out. There was something that was different. Oh, it was the hammer. I'm not sure if that cuts this hammer out. I guess it does. Well, of course it does, because I'm going to use that today. But there was something else that was bigger that I thought cut one of the stamps out, but it was bigger than what the stamp was. I don't know. I don't know what it was. But in the dies, you can cut the paintbrush out, and then there's another little die that you can cut out paint with and put it on the bottom of the bristles. So I thought that was kind of cute. It's just a really cute set. And I should have bought it before. I believe this came out in the last mini catalog, I think. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure that's when it came out, because then there was paper also that you could get during Celebration that went along with it. Okay, so the hammer, the paintbrush, and the measuring tape. You can use whatever of the tools that you want for what I'm doing today. I just picked these because my husband we've got a gazillion measuring tapes, so I wanted to make sure I had that. He recently did the stain and sealer on our front patio railing, so I thought, well, the paintbrush is kind of fun for that. And then, of course, you know, you always got to have a hammer. He uses all these tools, though. Alrighty, so there is that part. So I think what I'm going to do next is go ahead and bring in all my markers here. I'm using my Stampin' Up blends. And we will just get this colored up real quick. So I'm using the light and dark smoky slate. And I'm just going to do a little bit of the shading where it's indicated here on the hammer. Nothing fancy. Can you believe it's June? For real now, it's June. So to me, that means it is summer, even though I know it's not officially summer yet, but... And I've got the heat going here in my stamp room because it's chilly in my house. We live on the coast, so, you know, we don't get hot, hot weather here. Not the coast that I live on, anyway. Okay, and then that kind of soft, you know, they put that spongy stuff on the handles of some hammers, or some of them have like a rubber coating on the handle part. But anyway, I'm going to do this with the light basic black. But you could certainly color it with a fun color and make the handle a different color. So there's that. And then the paintbrush, I am going to do the bristles with ivory. don't know which one of my lights is kind of blinking, but that's annoying. I think it's this one right here. I don't know why it's blinking, I don't know. So my apologies for that. Okay, so there's that, and then I am going to bring back the light and dark smoky slate for this metal part that kind of holds the bristles together on the paintbrush. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Okay, and then for the wood handle, I'm going to use the light and dark pecan pie. And again, the shading part, I'm just going to kind of go around the outside edges of this and then where the lines indicate. Hello, Sue. Warm and beautiful where you are. Yeah. It's really pretty here, but it's just, you know, it's not warm in my house right now and the breeze is cold. So I think that's what the deal is that the breeze must be coming from off the ocean direction because it's chilly. And so my house just hasn't warmed up yet today. And I just hate having to turn the furnace on when it's summer, because by the time I do that, then the house will start warming up and then it'll be too warm. Okay, so there's that. Let me grab my color lifter because I got into here a little bit and I didn't want that in there. So let me just erase that. Okay, so there's that. And now the cute little measuring tape. I'm going to do the tape part with the light smoky slate. And just the end of it with the dark. And the button thing I'm going to do with the light black. And I think I'll do the middle. I'm going to do it with this also. I think that's kind of like usually where a label is or something. I'm sorry about that light flickering. It's driving me crazy. Can't figure out why it would do that because it's not like the light is round and flat, so it doesn't have a light bulb in it. I'm not sure why it would be flickering. So for the color, I'm going to make my tape measure red. So I'm using my light and dark real red. I'm going to do the side of it here with the dark. Red's my favorite. All right. I think we're done with that. Are we done with that? Maybe. I need to stamp I forgot. I need to stamp this wrench because I'm going to be using it on the inside. So let me add that. Okay, so I'm going to bring back my smoky slate here. And I'll just go right along here with this. It reminds me of this light flickering like a fluorescent light when the bulb is getting ready to go out. And they do that flickering, but I have no idea why this lamp would be flickering like this. Okay, now the tools are all ready. Bring in my little embossing and cutting machine. I love this little machine. Since there were so many dies in this set, I did take them off the carrier sheet and I put some magnetic sheet in here to make it easier. I'm going to try to cut these out in all one swoop. So I need to remember where these go back to on the sheet. It's like a puzzle. Oh, can you hear that helicopter flying over? We had a boat hit the jetty and pretty much sank. One guy jumped off the boat onto the jetty, onto the rocks, and got out of it. The other guy, I think, attempted to do that and landed in the water, but he got out. That must be a big helicopter, and it sounds like it's flying pretty low. So anyway, I'm glad that they got out of it okay. So much for the boat, probably. I'm grabbing some more tape is what I am reaching for over here. Here we go. Oh, look at that light. And I think it is on its way out, and I have not had that lamp very long. So that's kind of a bummer. Okay, let me see. Hopefully this fits through here. I think it will. Make sure that everything, nope, right there it didn't cut, so I will take these pieces off and trim that paper and run that one back through there. I think it was just a little bit too wide. All better. Well, light went out. What the heck? Oh, okay, well. Back on again. We'll see what happens with it. Flickering away. Okay, let me see if I can get these dies back where they went. I think that one was there. I always love it after you die cut stuff because it's all so cute when it gets cut out. I'm not sure. I don't know. I know the paintbrush was over that. So the paintbrush was there. I need to take a picture of it. Then I can just refer back to the picture to see where everything was. Like that must have been there. And that must have been there. Good. Okay. So here's all of these little cutie patootie tools. So I'm making an easel card today. So I've got half of a sheet of black cardstock here. So it is 4 1/4 by 11. So I just need to put it in here and score it at 5 1/2. And then I'm going to take that out and fold it in half and make sure. I usually have one side that looks just the tiniest bit longer than the other side. So I'm going to put it back in, and on the front I'm going to score it again at 2 3/4. Okay, so you just score it in half and then you score your front in half again, and that's going to give us our little sort of easel if you've never made one of these cards before. So you're just going to fold that half like that. You don't have to completely like open it up and fold it and use your bone folder on that score. You don't need to do that, but it never hurts to go ahead and enforce your main fold there. Okay. So I am going to have to use my little machine again. But we can wait a second for that. All right, so what have I got here? I've got 2 pieces of yellow. One is going to go, I think they're both the same. So they are cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have a piece of patterned paper here. It looks like peeled paint. And this is from, let me grab the paper pack. It is from the Country Woods Designer Series paper. So you get all kinds of fun wood patterns in here, and it is double-sided. So you get 2 sheets of each pattern. And I'll tell you what my favorite is when we get to it. This one, I love that with all the different colors. And I think that's what's on the back of this. It is. But I thought this was fun paper since we're making a card with tools on it. All right, so I guess it doesn't really matter which way I lay this. For some reason, I'm liking it better over there. Okay. Okay, so then to make this card, we don't want anything glued to the top, only on this bottom section here. So what I'm going to do is turn this over and get it sort of positioned where I'm going to want it. And then I can see my score lines there, so I'm just going to mark it there. And that way I know I can't go above those lines with my adhesive. And I'm going to go ahead and use glue for this part. So I see my lines. I'm just going to stay below that and add my glue. Just because the glue will have a little bit of wiggle room. Otherwise, you can use whatever adhesive you want to use. And then let me just kind of get it where I want it here. And make sure we don't have any glue where we don't want it back there. There we go. Okay, so now we've got that part glued. Get the pin put back in this. All right. And then I've got this piece for the inside. And so on the inside, I'm going to put Happy Father's Day. And I also want the little nuts and screws. And I better take that off the block and so I can use it. Okay, so I'm going to stamp the Happy Father's Day with the black. And I'm putting it up a little bit higher because, like I said, this is going to be an easel card, so that one tool is going to be our little prop to put down here at the bottom that will hold the front of the card in place. Happy Father's Day. And then the nuts and bolts, I am going to use basic gray for those. Seems like a good color for those. And let's see, I'm just gonna put those right there. Cute. Okay, now then, I probably should go ahead and pull these stamps off because I know I'm going to need another greeting out of here for the front. And what did I do? Here they are. Okay, so for the front, this stamp says, "You're the most awesome." Now, I think really that's supposed to line up with Dad, right? You're the most awesome Dad. So I'm not going to put Dad on this card. I could. Maybe I should put Dad on this card. The first one I made, I didn't put Dad. Okay, I think I will go ahead and put Dad on this card. Do it different. This stamp has never been stamped, I can tell. That's going to be cute. Okay. So on the first one, I had to mask off my stamp since I didn't want all of the words on there. And I was able to do that, and I will show you when we're done here. But this time, I don't need to do that since we're going to use all the words. And I think it will fit on here. Hopefully I can get it straight. You're the most awesome. Okay, so there we go. And I'm just going to trim this and flag it, or whatever you like to call it. I call flagging it. Some people may call doing a banner cut. You can also use a punch to do that with. And let's see, I probably need to trim off a little bit. Okay. So I think I am ready to start getting this finished. Let me find my dies again. Where'd they go? Here they are. I need the pegboard. Is that what that's called? I think that's what it's called. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get this on the paper where I want it because it's just got a very tiny border. And then I'm going to tape it to the platform. To keep it from moving around. And I think I'll bring it back through just to be safe. Polka dots. Get my little scrapey tool from the Dollar Tree. If you don't have one of these things, they sure come in handy. And that is where I found mine. Okay, all the holes are out of there. And so I'm going to use my glue again. And I will try to do this as quick as I can. but the border is so tiny, so I just didn't want a bunch of adhesive or glue. If I roll adhesive on the back, you'll see it through the holes. And I don't want glue oozing out of there. So it's just going to take me a minute to get this on here. So if you didn't know this already and you live around here, our Rite Aid store is closing on Tuesday. And as of right now, I guess my sister was in there earlier. She said everything in there was half off. And there wasn't a whole lot of stuff left, but there was quite a bit of cosmetics. She said the cosmetic department looked really stocked. So just in case you didn't know that, thought I would share. Okay, I need to get a wipey because I have glue on my fingers. Okay, there we go. There's our little cute pegboard. All right, let's get the inside done real quick. Okay, and then I need some dimensionals and the wrench. Okay, so I'm gonna put that right about here, and that will be the stopper so that this card will prop up like that, okay? Now let's build our, I guess I should go ahead and glue it on here first. All right, so I'm going to put the little tape measure up at the top. So I'm just going to put a doodah there and a little bit of glue up here. And I'm just going to put it there. So let me cut a piece of edge off here. Let's see, that's not where I wanted it. Might be too late now. It's pretty stuck. It is pretty stuck. I don't want it there though, so it's got to come off. And I will get some new. Okay. So let's see, I can just cut here. I wanted it at the bottom, not at the top. I'll just put it right about there, good enough. And then I want glue up here. There we go. And I'm going to put the hammer right here, like it's hanging on some peg that's holding it there. And the paintbrush, we'll line it up right there with that one. Like so. Uh-oh. Oh, I didn't pull the backs off. No wonder they're not sticking. That might help. I mean, it might help too if I straighten my card out. Okay, so there's that. And then on our little greeting here, I want to make sure I put them where they're not going to be over the top of something else. Just because that tends to make things bump up in a way that you don't like. Okay, so. Okay. I don't want it right centered, so I do want it straight, however. That looks pretty good. You're the most awesome dad. Okay, and then I've got some metallic embellishments here. These kind of look like nail heads or screw heads to me. So I thought that worked pretty good. So there you have it. You're the most awesome dad. Happy Father's Day. And then on my first card, I didn't want dad on there, so I masked off the two words the most, and I just put you're awesome. Happy Father's Day. So there we have 2 cards ready to go. I haven't made an easel card for a while, so that was kind of fun. Thanks, Sue. All right, let's do story time. Still in our little grandmother's book. It is best to learn as we go, not go as we have learned. Leslie Jean Saylor. To forget one's ancestors is to be a brook without a source, a tree without a root. And that is a Chinese proverb. Irma pulls that grandma enjoys it in Thanksgiving line on me every year. What enjoyment! What makes all of them think a 65-year-old woman likes to get up at 4 a.m., arm wrestle a naked turkey, stand over a toaster trying to make stale bread into fresh dressing, and spend 10 hours making a meal that will take 12 minutes to inhale? Irma Bombeck's mother is who said that. And that is the truth. That's funny. For tradition to be alive, it has to be allowed to be a fountain of power for things undreamt of, things to come. And that is by Ibrahim Jabra, whoever that is. Like all cultures, one of the family's first jobs is to persuade its members they're special, more wonderful than the neighboring barbarians. The persuasion consists of stories showing family members demonstrating admirable, you know what word I'm trying to say, traits which it claims are family traits. Attention to the story's actual truth is never the family's most compelling consideration. Encouraging belief is. The family's survival depends on the shared sensibility of its members. Elizabeth Stone. And this cute little picture says role model. Grandmothers are wise and patient. They give others the benefit of the doubt and are quick to grant forgiveness and acceptance when blame and condemnation would seem a more natural response. Courage in hardship and grace in victory come naturally to them. They know how to take the edge off criticism with a funny story and often make themselves the butt of jokes to diffuse tension. They also know when to be serious, earning the respect of the generations with their insight, tenacity, and wisdom. While I was a child, her great affection for me and her intense care for my welfare made me love her and gave me that feeling of safety that children need. Bertrand Russell. Just as the paths of the birds or the fish are invisible, so is the path of the possessors of wisdom. And that's by a name I'm not even going to try to pronounce. And we will end with that one. So I hope you like this card and this stamp and die set. It's really a fun set and a great set to use, especially for guys, but for anybody that likes woodworking or using tools. Trusty tools. I need to get all the little dots out of that die. But like I said, there's 20 dies in this set and 16 stamps. Alrighty, you guys have a great weekend ahead. I will put my information in the description box when we're done here so that you can find my shopping page if you would like to shop with me and don't already have a demonstrator. There is a special going on. I need to give you some information on that. For this month. It has already started, and it is on suites, like a whole suite of products. And there's a few different ones online that if you just go in the search bar and put suites, it will bring all the suites up. They are buy one, get one half off. Here's the thing you need to be careful about. If you picked 2 suites out, you would pay the full price for one, get half off the other. However, if you put other things in your order and they are from a suite, it's going to take that half off of one of those items instead of giving you the half off of the suite. Okay, so be really mindful of that. Watch for that. I don't want you to get, you know, lose out on what you should get off. It might be easier if you wanted to purchase 2 suites to just purchase those separately on an order. And then if you have other stuff, do a separate order. I don't think you have to worry about it if the other items that you're getting are not from a suite. I think that will work out okay, but just check it to be sure. Also, if you haven't signed up yet, which is free to sign up for earning rewards, make sure you do that because you will earn rewards on your purchases beginning at a $20 purchase. And then you can use those rewards on your next order. So I think that's about all I need to tell you about. They did restock or refresh the While It Lasts section. I can never remember what they call it. But yeah, the stuff that is retired, going away, not going to be available anymore. They've added items to that. I think that's it, you guys. So thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.